The trading station floated in the empty space between three solar systems like a small metal moon. Ships from dozens of different species docked at its ports every day. Inside the main market hall, hundreds of aliens bought and sold everything from food to weapons to rare minerals. Commander Lisa Morgan walked through the crowd with her team of 5 humans behind her. Their uniforms were simple gray and black with no decorations or medals. They carried no visible weapons. To most of the aliens in the market, they looked weak and unimpressive. A group of Theran warriors stood near the entrance. They were massive creatures standing over 8 feet tall with 4 arms each and natural armor covering their bodies. One of them pointed at the humans and laughed loud enough for everyone to hear. "Look at the prey species trying to trade with real warriors," he called out. His companions joined in the laughter. Several other alien species nearby started pointing and whispering. Some made gestures that were clearly meant to be insulting. Lisa kept walking without changing her expression. Her team stayed close and silent. They had all been through years of military training. A few insults meant nothing to them. The market was enormous. Stalls lined both sides of the main corridor selling goods from across the galaxy. The air smelled like a mixture of spices and chemicals and something Lisa could not identify. Overhead lights flickered in colors her eyes were not quite designed to see. At the far end of the market stood a counter made from some kind of dark wood that seemed to absorb light. Behind it sat an elf woman with silver hair that fell past her waist. Her skin was pale like moonlight and her eyes were violet. She wore dark green robes that looked expensive. 2 dragons coiled around her shoulders. They were not the massive creatures from human legends. These were smaller, about the size of large dogs. One had scales that shimmered blue and green. The other was deep purple with hints of gold. Both had intelligent eyes that watched everything in the market. Lisa had heard about Kira before coming here. The elf woman ran the most successful trading post in this sector. She was over 300 years old and supposedly never forgot a face or a deal. Her dragons were rare creatures that bonded with only one person in their entire lives. As Lisa approached the counter, Kira looked up. For a moment their eyes met. The elf woman showed no expression, but Lisa saw her dragons lift their heads with interest. "I need supplies," Lisa said without any greeting. "Food rations for 6 people for 2 weeks. Medical supplies including wound sealant and antibiotics. Water purification tablets." Kira nodded slowly. She touched a glowing panel on her counter and numbers appeared in the air above it. The total cost appeared in several different currencies. "You can afford this?" she asked. It was not really a question. Her tone suggested she already knew the answer. "Yes," Lisa replied. Behind them, the Theran warriors had followed. The largest one stepped up close enough that Lisa could smell something like burning metal coming from his armor. "Why do you waste time with these creatures?" he asked Kira. "Humans are weak. They have no natural weapons, no magic, no enhanced strength or speed. They are nothing." Kira did not look at him. Her fingers moved over the glowing panel, entering numbers and confirming inventory. One of her dragons turned its head and made a low rumbling sound. "If they are nothing, why do you care what I trade with them?" Kira asked without emotion. The Theran warrior seemed confused by this response. He looked at his companions as if seeking support. They moved closer, forming a half-circle behind Lisa and her team. "Perhaps we should test these humans," one of them suggested. "See if they are worthy to trade here." Lisa finally turned to face them. She was barely 5.5 feet tall. Next to the Theran warriors, she looked like a child, but her eyes were steady and her voice was calm. "What kind of test?" she asked. The largest Theran grinned, showing teeth designed for tearing metal. "Simple combat," he said. "One of my warriors against one of yours. Hand to hand. First to submit loses." Several other aliens in the market had stopped to watch. A crowd was forming. Lisa could feel dozens of eyes on her team. "No," Lisa said simply. The Theran warriors looked genuinely surprised. Most species would either accept the challenge to defend their honor or run away in fear. Refusing outright was unusual. "You are afraid," the largest one said. "This proves humans are prey." Lisa shook her head. "I am not afraid," she replied. "I am practical. You are bigger and stronger than any of my people. Your natural armor means our strikes would barely hurt you. Fighting you in hand-to-hand combat would be stupid." "And I do not do stupid things," the crowd murmured. Some aliens seemed impressed by her honesty. Others clearly thought she was a coward. "Then you admit you are weak," the Theran said. "No," Lisa corrected. "I admit you are stronger. There is a difference. Strength is not the only form of power. Kira had stopped working on the transaction. She was watching Lisa with an expression that might have been curiosity. Her dragons were both staring at the human commander now. Then show us this other power, the Theron demanded. Prove humans are more than prey. Lisa considered this for a moment. Her team waited silently behind her. They trusted her judgment completely. Whatever she decided they would support. Fine, Lisa said. But not your test. Mine. She reached to her belt and pulled out a small device about the size of her palm. It looked like a simple metal box with a screen on one side. I will stand right here, she announced loud enough for the crowd to hear. This device will create a marker on the floor. I will not move from this spot for 60 seconds. You and anyone else here can try to make me move using any physical force you want. No weapons, no lethal attacks. But you can push, pull, or lift me however you wish. If I move even one step from this spot, you win and we leave empty-handed. If I stay in place, you and your friends apologize to every human in this market and pay triple price for our supplies. The crowd grew larger. Aliens of at least a dozen species pushed closer to see. The Theron warriors looked at each other. Their leader's expression shifted from confidence to uncertainty. You will just stand there, he asked. And let us try to move you. Exactly. Lisa confirmed. The largest Theron laughed, but it sounded forced. His companions did not join in this time. Something about the human's complete certainty was unsettling. Done, he finally agreed.
60 seconds.
If you move, we will spread word across the sector that humans are liars and cowards. Lisa nodded and placed her device on the floor. She tapped it once and a glowing circle appeared on the metal surface around her boots. A countdown started on the device's screen. 60 seconds. She stood relaxed with her hands at her sides. Her team stepped back to give the Theron warriors room to work. Begin the countdown reached 55 seconds. The largest Theron moved forward. He grabbed Lisa's shoulder with one massive hand. His grip was strong enough to crush stone. He pulled hard enough to lift a small vehicle. Lisa did not move. Her body swayed slightly. Her boots stayed exactly where they were on the glowing circle. The Theron warrior pulled harder. Still nothing. He added his second hand. Then his third. Then his fourth. All four arms pulling with enough force to bend metal beams. Lisa's face showed strain. Sweat appeared on her forehead, but her boots remained planted. Help me, the Theron leader called to his companions. 2 more warriors rushed forward. Now 3 massive aliens pulled at the human from different angles. 40 seconds left. The crowd watched in absolute silence. Lisa felt every muscle in her body straining against the force pulling at her. 3 Theron warriors used all their strength trying to move her from the glowing circle. The pressure on her shoulders and arms was intense. Her bones creaked. Her joints ached. But her boots stayed locked in place. 30 seconds remaining on the countdown. The technology in her military boots was simple, but effective. Every human soldier wore them. They created a localized gravity field that bonded the wearer to any surface. Humans had invented it for fighting in zero-gravity environments where being pushed off a ship meant floating away into space forever. But it worked just as well here. The Theron warriors pulled harder. One of them wrapped all 4 arms around her waist and lifted with enough force to move a cargo container. Lisa's body rose a few inches off the ground, but her boots remained fixed to the floor. She hung there suspended by the bond between her footwear and the metal surface. 20 seconds. The crowd of aliens pressed closer. Some were recording the scene on their devices. Others made sounds that might have been their species' version of gasps or cheers. Lisa could see dozens of different alien faces, all showing variations of shock and confusion. Kira leaned forward over her counter. Her violet eyes were wide with fascination. Both dragons had climbed down from her shoulders and were standing on the counter itself, watching intently. Their tails swished back and forth. The Theron warriors were breathing hard now. Their natural armor gleamed with sweat or whatever fluid their bodies produced. They had expected to throw the small human across the room within seconds. Instead, they could not move her even a fraction of an inch. 10 seconds. One of the warriors grabbed her legs and pulled in the opposite direction from his companions. They were trying to stretch her between them. Lisa felt the strain in every part of her body. Her vision started to blur at the edges. Pain shot through her spine. But she had endured worse in training. Human military preparation was brutal specifically because humans were physically weaker than most alien species. They had to be tougher mentally to compensate. 5 seconds. The countdown device made a sound. All 3 Theran warriors stumbled backward as Lisa tapped her belt control and released the gravity field. They had been pulling so hard that when the resistance suddenly disappeared, they fell over each other in a tangle of limbs and armor. Lisa stood calmly in the center of the glowing circle. She rolled her shoulders once and took a deep breath. Her uniform was wrinkled and damp with sweat, but she was steady on her feet. "Time is up," she announced. The market was silent for 3 heartbeats. Then the crowd erupted in noise. Aliens were chattering in dozens of languages. Some were arguing about what they had just seen. Others were demanding to know how the human had done it. The Theran warriors slowly got to their feet. Their leader's face showed shame and anger mixed together. His companions would not meet anyone's eyes. Kira began to laugh. It was a clear, bright sound like wind chimes in a breeze. Her dragons made chirping noises that might have been their version of laughter. The elf woman clapped her hands together softly. "Remarkable," she said. "Absolutely remarkable. This is a trick," the Theran leader growled. "Some kind of human deception." Lisa shrugged. "I gave you the rules," she replied. "I said I would not move from this spot. I never said I would not use technology. You assumed I meant I would rely only on my body's natural strength. That assumption was your mistake. You cheated," the Theran insisted. "No," Lisa said firmly. "I was honest about exactly what I would do. You heard what you expected to hear instead of what I actually said. That is not my fault." Kira came around her counter, moving with the grace of someone who had lived for centuries. She walked right up to Lisa and studied her face closely. The elf woman was taller by nearly a foot. Her violet eyes seemed to look straight through Lisa's skull into her thoughts. "You are clever," she said. "Most species rely on what nature gave them: physical strength, natural weapons, innate magic. But humans," she paused, "humans create their own advantages. You make yourselves strong." Lisa met her gaze without flinching. "We have to," she replied. "The universe does not care about fair. It only cares about who survives. My species learned that lesson over and over on our homeworld. We were prey for thousands of years. We had no claws or fangs or armor. We were weaker than almost everything that wanted to eat us." "Then how did you survive?" Kira asked. "We learned to think our way out of problems," Lisa said. "We learned to use tools, to work together, to adapt. Those lessons are burned into our culture now. We do not waste time wishing we were stronger or faster. We focus on being smarter." The Theran leader had been listening to this exchange. His expression gradually shifted from anger to something that might have been respect or possibly fear. He seemed to realize he was not dealing with prey at all. "The terms of our agreement," he said slowly. "We will honor them." He pulled out a payment device and transferred credits to Kira's account. Lisa's team scanner showed the amount. Triple the original price as promised. The other Theran warriors each did the same, adding their portions, and the apology Lisa reminded him. The Theran leader straightened his posture. He looked uncomfortable, but he raised his voice so the entire market could hear. "I apologize to all humans present," he announced. "I spoke in ignorance. Your species has earned respect." His companions echoed the statement. Several other aliens in the crowd made gestures that seemed to indicate agreement or approval. The hostile atmosphere from earlier had completely changed. Kira returned to her counter and began processing Lisa's order. Her fingers moved quickly over the glowing controls. The dragons had not stopped staring at Lisa. They made soft cooing sounds. "Your dragons seem interested in my commander," one of Lisa's team members observed. It was Amy Chen, a young woman with dark hair tied back in a practical bun. Kira glanced at her pets and raised one elegant eyebrow. "They are," she agreed. "That is unusual. Dragons bond with one person for life. They typically ignore or distrust everyone else. But they seem drawn to your commander." "Why?" Lisa asked. Kira considered the question while she worked. Finally, she answered. "Dragons sense certain qualities in living beings," she explained. "Courage, certainly. Strength of will. But also something else. Something harder to define. A kind of determination that goes beyond simple stubbornness. They recognize it in me. Perhaps they recognize it in you as well." One of the dragons unwound itself from the counter and moved closer to Lisa. It approached cautiously like a cat deciding whether to trust someone. When it reached her boots, it stopped and looked up at her with bright, intelligent eyes. "May I touch it?" Lisa asked. "If it allows you," Kira replied. But I warn you, dragons can be unpredictable. Even I cannot fully control them. Lisa slowly lowered her hand palm down. The dragon sniffed at her fingers. Its breath was warm and smelled like smoke and cinnamon. After a moment, it pressed its head against her palm. Lisa gently scratched behind the small horns on its head. The dragon made a purring sound that vibrated through its entire body. Its companion dragon immediately jumped down from the counter and rushed over, wanting the same attention. Kira stopped working completely. She stared at the scene with visible shock. In 300 years, she whispered, I have never seen them do that with anyone but me. The crowd of aliens had been dispersing, but some remained to watch. They saw the dragons pressing against the human commander, seeking her touch. Several pulled out recording devices again. Lisa knelt down so she could reach both dragons more easily. They climbed onto her lap, competing for attention like puppies. Their scales were warm and surprisingly soft along the edges. The dragons curled around Lisa like cats seeking warmth. The blue-green one settled across her shoulders while the purple-gold one wrapped around her waist. They made contented rumbling sounds. Their eyes were half closed in pleasure as she continued scratching their scales. Kira stood frozen watching this scene. Her expression had shifted from shock to something deeper. There was calculation in her violet eyes. She was thinking through implications that the humans could not yet understand. How long have you had them? Lisa asked while the dragons nuzzled against her. 237 years, Kira replied. I found their eggs in a dying star system. I was the first living being they saw when they hatched. They bonded with me instantly. Since that day, they have never shown affection to anyone else. Until now. What does it mean? One of Lisa's team members asked. His name was Tony Barnes, a broad-shouldered man with careful eyes. I am not certain, Kira admitted. Dragon behavior is not fully understood even by those who study them. They are ancient creatures. Some believe they can see things about a person's character that others cannot, qualities that go beyond species or physical form. The blue-green dragon lifted its head and looked directly at Kira. It made a series of chirping sounds. Kira listened intently. Her expression grew more thoughtful. Can you understand them? Lisa asked. Not words exactly, Kira explained, but emotions, impressions. They are trying to tell me something about you, something they find important. What is it? Lisa prompted. Kira shook her head slowly. It is difficult to translate. They sense something familiar in you, a kind of fire. Not literal flames, but a burning determination, the will to survive against impossible odds. They recognize it because I have it too. Lisa carefully lifted both dragons and set them on the floor. They protested with small squeaking sounds, but allowed her to stand. She brushed off her uniform and faced Kira directly. We came here for supplies, she said, not to create diplomatic incidents or impress anyone. Can we complete the transaction? Kira smiled slightly. Of course, she agreed. Your supplies are ready, but I would like to propose something additional. Lisa waited without speaking. I travel to different systems selling rare goods, Kira continued. I have done this for centuries, but lately the routes have become more dangerous. Pirates, territorial disputes between species. My ship has defenses, but I am only one person. I could use reliable protection. You want to hire us? Lisa asked. I want to hire you specifically, Kira clarified. Your team can come along, but I am interested in your skills, the way you think, the way you approach problems. These qualities are valuable. What would the job involve? Lisa asked. Escort duty mostly, Kira explained. I have a shipment of rare minerals to deliver to a mining colony, 3 systems from here. The route passes through disputed space. Several ships have disappeared along that path in recent months. I would pay well, triple your normal rates. Lisa glanced at her team. They showed no expression, but she could read their thoughts anyway. They had been together long enough to communicate without words. Amy thought it was risky. Tony thought it might be profitable. The others were waiting for Lisa's decision. We would need details, Lisa said. Ship specifications, route maps, information about the threats in that region. Of course, Kira agreed. Come to my ship. We can discuss everything properly there, she whistled once. Both dragons immediately returned to her. They climbed up her body with practiced ease and settled on her shoulders. But they kept looking back at Lisa as if reluctant to leave her. Kira led them out of the market hall. They walked through a series of corridors that became progressively cleaner and quieter. This section of the station was clearly reserved for wealthier traders. The walls were decorated with art from different worlds. The air smelled like flowers Lisa did not recognize. They reached a private docking bay. Inside was a ship unlike anything Lisa had seen before. It was medium-sized, roughly the length of 3 human cargo vessels. But its design was elegant where human ships were practical. Curves instead of angles. The hull appeared to be made from some kind of dark crystal that reflected light in strange patterns. "This is the Star Whisper," Kira announced. "My home for the past 2 centuries." They boarded through a ramp that sealed behind them with a soft hiss. The interior matched the exterior. Everything was designed with beauty in mind as well as function. The walls seemed to glow with their own light. The floor was smooth and warm under their boots. Kira led them to a central room that served as both living space and command center. Holographic displays floated in the air showing star charts and data streams. Comfortable seating was arranged in a circle around a low table. "Sit please," Kira invited. "Can I offer refreshments? Water would be good," Lisa replied. Her team nodded in agreement. Kira touched a panel on the wall. A section slid open, revealing glasses and a container of clear liquid. She poured for each of them with the careful movements of someone used to ceremony. The dragons jumped down from her shoulders and immediately moved to where Lisa was sitting. "They really have taken to you," Kira observed. "That complicates things." "How?" Lisa asked. "Dragons are possessive creatures," Kira explained. "If they bond with someone, they become protective. Aggressive, even. They will not want to be separated from you now. But they are bonded to you," Lisa pointed out. "Yes," Kira agreed, "which makes this unprecedented. They seem to believe they can bond with both of us. I have never heard of such a thing." The purple-gold dragon climbed into Lisa's lap. The blue-green one settled at her feet. Both watched her with adoring eyes. Lisa found herself stroking their scales without thinking about it. "Tell me about the route," Lisa said, bringing the conversation back to business. Kira activated one of the holographic displays. A star map appeared showing several solar systems connected by glowing lines. She pointed to their current location, then traced a path through empty space. "We are here," she said. "The mining colony is here. The direct route takes 5 days. But this region is claimed by both the Keth Empire and the Vrax Collective. Neither has full control. That makes it attractive to pirates and smugglers." "What kind of pirates?" Lisa asked. "Mostly Keth deserters," Kira replied. "They use old military ships, fast, well-armed. They hunt in packs of 3 or 4 vessels. They target traders like me who carry valuable cargo." "How many ships have they taken recently?" Lisa pressed. "At least 6 in the past 2 months," Kira said. "Some were destroyed. Others were captured. The crews were either killed or sold as slaves depending on their species." "What defenses does your ship have?" Lisa continued. "The Star Whisper has shielding and basic weapons," Kira explained. "Enough to survive a quick encounter, but not enough to fight off a sustained attack. That is why I need help." Lisa studied the star map carefully. Her mind was already working through scenarios, attack patterns, escape routes, tactical advantages and weaknesses. "Your ship is fast," she observed. "Very fast," Kira confirmed. "One of the fastest in this sector. But speed alone is not always enough." "Do you have any weapons that would surprise these pirates?" Lisa asked. Kira smiled. "A few," she admitted. "But I would prefer to avoid combat entirely if possible. My cargo is valuable, but my ship and my life are more valuable still." "Smart," Lisa approved. "What about communication? Can your ship jam enemy sensors?" "Yes," Kira said. "For short periods. But jamming can also attract attention. It tells everyone in the area that someone is trying to hide." Lisa nodded. She was forming a plan. It would require careful timing, good intelligence, and probably some luck. But it might work. "I will take the job," she announced. "But I have conditions." "Name them," Kira invited. "First, we scout the route before committing," Lisa said. "Send a small fast probe through to check for recent activity. Second, you follow my tactical instructions exactly during any encounter. No arguments, no delays. Third, we get hazard pay on top of the escort fee if we actually face combat." "Agreed," Kira said without hesitation. "Anything else?" Lisa looked at her team. They had been standing quietly, letting her handle the negotiation. That was how they worked. Each person had their role. Lisa made the strategic decisions. The others provided support and expertise. "My people will need quarters on your ship," Lisa continued. "Private space where we can store our equipment and rest between shifts." "Of course," Kira agreed. "I have guest rooms that are rarely used. You will have everything you need. We will need Access to your ship's systems, Lisa. Added, navigation, sensors, communications, not full control but enough to monitor threats and coordinate responses. Kira hesitated for the first time. That is asking a lot, she said carefully. My ship's systems contain proprietary technology, information that other traders would pay dearly to acquire. I understand, Lisa replied. But if I am going to protect you, I need to see what is happening around us. Blind protection is no protection at all. Kira studied Lisa's face for a long moment. Finally, she nodded. Limited access, she decided. You can view sensor data and communication channels, but you cannot access propulsion or weapon systems directly. Those remain under my control. Fair enough, Lisa agreed. They shook hands in the human fashion. Kira's grip was firm and cool. Her skin felt smoother than human skin, almost like polished stone. When do we leave, Lisa asked. Tomorrow morning, Kira replied. I need to finish loading the cargo and file departure clearances with station authority. That gives you time to prepare. My team will return to our ship and gather our equipment, Lisa said. We will be back here in 6 hours. Kira escorted them back to the docking ramp. The dragons followed reluctantly. They kept trying to stay close to Lisa even as Kira called them back. Finally, she had to pick them both up and hold them. They will adjust, she promised. Give them time. Lisa and her team walked back through the station corridors. Once they were alone, Tony spoke up. That was interesting, he observed. Very interesting, Amy agreed. Those dragons liked you way too much, Commander. Dragons are good judges of character, Lisa replied. Better than most people anyway. Do you trust her, Tony asked. Trust is a strong word, Lisa said carefully. But I believe she is honest about what she wants. Protection for her cargo and her ship. Everything else is secondary. Those pirates she mentioned, Amy said. They sound serious. Old military ships means real weapons. Real training. We have faced worse, Lisa reminded her. Remember the Zhen blockade? That was different, Amy argued. We had a full battle group backing us up. Here it will just be us and an elf merchant. Then we will need to be smart, Lisa said, which is what humans do best. They reached their own ship. It was docked in a cheaper section of the station. The area smelled like fuel and old metal. Their vessel was a small patrol craft. Nothing fancy but reliable, human military design, all function and no beauty. Inside they gathered in the common room. Lisa pulled up a holographic display and showed them the route Kira had shared. Her team studied it carefully. Lots of empty space between systems, Tony observed. That is ambush territory. Pirates could hide anywhere. We will need to modify our approach, Lisa said. Standard patrol patterns will not work here. We need something unexpected. What do you have in mind? Amy asked. Lisa traced her finger along the route. Pirates expect traders to run, she explained. They position themselves to intercept fleeing ships. They have faster engines and more firepower. Running plays into their strengths. So what do we do instead? Tony asked. We make them come to us, Lisa said. We turn the Star Whisper into bait, Amy frowned. Explain, she requested. The pirates hunt traders because traders are valuable and weak, Lisa continued. They expect fear. They expect running. What if instead we give them confusion? You want to confuse them, Tony said slowly. How exactly? Lisa smiled. We send out a distress signal, she explained. Something that suggests the ship is damaged. Maybe life support failing. Maybe engines offline. We make it look like easy prey. The pirates move in to capture us, Amy said, following the logic. They want the cargo intact, so they will approach carefully. Right, Lisa confirmed. While they are focused on the Star Whisper, we hit them from an unexpected angle. Our ship separates from Kira's vessel before we send the distress call. We go dark. Hide in the debris field near the third system. When the pirates commit to their attack, we come in behind them. That could work, Tony admitted. But it requires perfect timing. And Kira would need to trust us completely. Her ship would be genuinely vulnerable. That is why we practice it first, Lisa said. Tomorrow we run simulations. We make sure everyone knows their role. We account for every variable we can think of. The team spent the next several hours going over details. They reviewed data on Keth military ships. They studied pirate tactics. They planned contingencies for different scenarios. This was what they did best. Preparation, analysis, turning disadvantages into advantages. 6 hours later, they returned to the Star Whisper carrying equipment cases. Kira met them at the docking ramp. The dragons were with her, but they immediately tried to climb down and reach Lisa when they saw her. I had to lock them in my quarters for 2 hours, Kira said with amusement. They kept trying to leave. I think they were looking for you. Sorry about that, Lisa replied. Do not apologize, Kira said. It is fascinating. I have begun researching dragon bonding behavior. There are very few documented cases of dual bonding. Most experts believed it was impossible. What changed their minds, Lisa asked. Apparently nothing, Kira replied. Because it has never been observed until now. You and I may be making history great, Lisa said dryly. That is exactly what I wanted. To be a footnote in someone's academic paper about dragon psychology. Kira laughed. She led them deeper into the ship, showing them their quarters. Each team member got a private cabin. The rooms were larger and nicer than anything on their patrol craft. Real beds instead of bunks. Private bathrooms with actual water showers. This is luxury, Amy whispered to Tony. Kira's ship had a small cargo bay that they converted into a tactical center. They set up holographic displays and communication equipment. Lisa spent an hour integrating their systems with the Star Whisper's sensors. Kira watched carefully, making sure no one accessed anything beyond what they had agreed. By evening, they were ready. Lisa called everyone together for a final briefing. Kira joined them, bringing the dragons, who immediately settled near Lisa. Tomorrow we depart, Lisa announced. The trip will take 5 days if nothing goes wrong. The danger zone is between the second and third systems. That is where most attacks have occurred. We will maintain constant watch rotations. No one sleeps alone. Everyone has a backup. What about me? Kira asked. What is my role? You fly your ship, Lisa replied. Follow the route exactly as planned. If we encounter pirates, you follow my instructions without question or delay. Your job is to survive. Our job is to make sure that happens. I can fight, Kira said. I am not helpless. I am sure you can, Lisa agreed. But fighting is not your primary value here. We need you to pilot. These are your dragons. They will fight better with you directing them. That is your role. Kira considered this, then nodded. I understand, she said. I trust your judgment, good, Lisa replied. Because tomorrow everything depends on trust. They spent the rest of the evening making final preparations. Lisa checked every piece of equipment twice. Her team went through weapons maintenance. Kira loaded the last of her cargo, the rare minerals she was transporting, materials worth more than most ships. Late that night, Lisa stood alone in the cargo bay. She was reviewing the tactical displays one more time, making sure she had not missed anything. The dragons found her there. They had somehow escaped from Kira's quarters again. You two are persistent, Lisa observed as they climbed onto her lap. They made soft, chirping sounds. Their eyes glowed slightly in the dim light. Lisa found their presence oddly comforting. She was not usually someone who liked animals. But these creatures felt different. More intelligent, more aware. The Star Whisper launched from the trading station at dawn. The ship moved through space with elegant grace. Its crystal hull reflected starlight in patterns that seemed almost alive. Lisa watched from the bridge as the station grew smaller behind them. Kira sat in the pilot's seat. Her hands moved over holographic controls with practiced ease. The dragons were curled around her shoulders, but they kept looking back at Lisa, who stood behind them, monitoring sensor displays. First jump in 10 minutes, Kira announced. Everyone secure. Lisa's team was spread throughout the ship. Tony was in engineering learning the systems. Amy was in the cargo bay with their equipment. The others were at various stations monitoring different functions. The ship reached the jump point. Space seemed to fold around them. Colors that had no names flashed past the windows. Then they were elsewhere. A different system. Different stars. Jump complete, Kira reported. All systems normal. No contacts on sensors. They repeated this process 3 more times over the next 2 days. Each jump brought them closer to the danger zone. Each system they passed through was empty. No other ships. No stations. Just endless darkness punctuated by distant stars. Lisa used the time to drill her team. They practiced emergency procedures. They ran through attack scenarios. They made sure everyone knew exactly what to do in any situation. Kira watched these preparations with interest. She began to understand how humans compensated for their physical limitations. They planned for everything. They practiced until actions became automatic. They removed uncertainty through preparation. On the 3rd day, they reached the edge of the danger zone. Lisa ordered their patrol craft separated from the Star Whisper. Tony piloted it away using minimal power. He found a position in a debris field left over from some ancient collision. Rocks and ice and metal fragments created perfect cover. "We are in position," Tony reported over the secure channel. "Going dark now. Their ship powered down everything except passive sensors and life support. On any active scan, it would appear to be just another piece of debris drifting through space." The Star Whisper continued alone, following the planned route. Lisa stayed on the bridge with Kira. The dragons sensed the tension. They made nervous sounds and their tails twitched. "Now we wait," Lisa said. "I do not enjoy waiting," Kira admitted. 300 years and I still have not learned patience." "Patience is overrated," Lisa replied. "Preparation matters more. We are ready for whatever comes." Hours passed. The ship moved deeper into the danger zone. Sensors showed nothing unusual, just empty space and distant stars. Lisa began to wonder if the pirates had moved to different hunting grounds. Then Amy's voice came over the internal communication system. "Contact," she announced. 3 ships emerging from behind the moon of the 4th planet. "Configuration matches Keith military design." "Here we go," Lisa said quietly. On the sensor display, 3 dots appeared. They were moving fast on an intercept course. The Star Whisper was still hours away from the next jump point. "Too far to run." Kira looked at Lisa. "Do I send the distress signal now?" she asked. "Not yet," Lisa replied. "Let them commit. We need them close enough that they cannot break off easily." The pirate ships drew closer. Lisa watched their formation. They were moving in a standard military pattern. 1 ship ahead, 2 flanking, designed to cut off escape routes and concentrate fire. "When they are within weapons range, send the signal," Lisa instructed. "Make it sound desperate." "Life support failing. Engines damaged." "You are helpless and afraid," Kira nodded. She had never been helpless or afraid in 3 centuries. But she was an excellent actress when needed. The pirate ships closed to weapons range. Their sensors would be scanning the Star Whisper now, looking for defenses, evaluating the cargo, deciding whether to destroy or capture. "Now," Lisa said. Kira activated the distress signal. Her voice came out panicked and broken. "Help please," she transmitted. "Life support failing. Engines offline. We cannot maneuver. Please help us." The pirate ship slowed slightly. Their formation tightened. They were being cautious. Even helpless prey could be dangerous if cornered. Lisa watched the tactical display. The pirates were exactly where she wanted them, focused on the Star Whisper, confident in their advantage. Unaware of the threat behind them, "Tony," she said into her communication device. "Light them up." "Understood," came the reply. The patrol craft powered up all systems at once. It appeared on sensors like a star being born. Before the pirates could react, it fired a spread of missiles. Not at the ships themselves, but at their engines. The missiles struck 2 of the pirate vessels. Their propulsion systems exploded. The ships went dead in space, unable to move or maneuver. The 3rd pirate ship tried to turn and face this new threat, but it was too slow. Kira brought the Star Whisper around. The ship was never helpless at all. Its weapons came online. Crystal panels on the hull opened, revealing cannons that glowed with energy. She fired at the 3rd pirate ship, catching it before it could complete its turn. The pirate vessel's shields held but barely. It was trapped between 2 fires. The patrol craft from behind, the Star Whisper from the front. Lisa opened a communication channel to all 3 pirate ships. "This is Commander Lisa Morgan of the human fleet," she announced. "You have 1 chance to surrender. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. Refuse and we will destroy you." Silence. Then one of the disabled ships responded. "Who are you?" they demanded. "Humans are not in this sector. You have no authority here." "We have authority enough," Lisa replied. "You attacked a ship under our protection. That makes you our problem. Surrender now or face the consequences." The dragons had been restless during the entire engagement. Now they made sounds that were almost like battle cries. They wanted to fight. Kira held them back with gentle hands. The pirates conferred among themselves. Lisa could see the communication bursts between their ships on her sensors. They were calculating odds, deciding if they could fight their way out. One of the disabled ships suddenly activated its self-destruct sequence. Lisa saw the energy spike. "No," she shouted. The ship exploded. The blast caught one of its companion vessels, destroying it instantly. The 3rd pirate ship tried to run, but its engines were too damaged. It drifted helplessly. Tony brought the patrol craft alongside the surviving pirate vessel. Amy led a boarding team across. They found 3 surviving crew members. 2 Keth and 1 species Lisa did not recognize. All surrendered without resistance. Search the ship, Lisa ordered. I want to know who they work for and where their base is located. The search revealed data files and communication logs. The pirates were part of a larger organization. Deserters from multiple fleets who had banded together. Their base was hidden in an asteroid field 2 systems away. We should report this to local authorities, Kira suggested. What local authorities? Lisa asked. This is disputed space. No one has jurisdiction. No one will come. Then what do we do? Kira pressed. We continue to the mining colony, Lisa decided. We deliver your cargo. Then we decide whether to deal with this pirate base ourselves. You would attack them directly? Kira asked, surprised. If necessary, Lisa replied. They attacked us. They killed their own crew rather than face capture. They are a threat that will not go away on its own. Kira considered this. I will help, she decided. My ship, my weapons, my dragons. We will face them together. Lisa looked at her. Are you sure? She asked. This is not your fight. You protected me, Kira said simply. That makes it my fight too. Besides, the dragons have chosen you. I cannot ignore that. Whatever it means, we are connected now, the dragons chirped in agreement. They looked from Kira to Lisa and back again. Their eyes were bright with excitement and something that might have been joy. The rest of the journey to the mining colony passed without incident. They delivered Kira's cargo and collected payment. The colony administrator was grateful. Ships had stopped coming because of the pirate threat. The rare minerals were desperately needed. Lisa used the time at the colony to gather more information. She talked to other traders. She studied star charts. She built a complete picture of the pirate operation. They had been active for almost a year. They had taken or destroyed more than 20 ships. Hundreds of lives lost. We go after them, Lisa announced at a meeting with her team and Kira. We have the location. We have the capability. We end this threat. Her team agreed immediately. They were soldiers. This was what they did. Kira also agreed, though more slowly. She was a trader, not a warrior. But she understood necessity. They spent 3 days preparing. They repaired damage from the first engagement. They gathered supplies and ammunition. They planned their approach to the pirate base. The asteroid field was exactly where the captured data indicated. Dozens of large rocks tumbling through space. Perfect cover for ships that wanted to hide. The pirate base was built inside one of the larger asteroids. Sensors showed at least 5 ships docked there. We hit them fast, Lisa decided. No warning, no chance to respond. Tony, you take the patrol craft and disable their ships. Kira and I will target the base itself. What about ground forces? Kira asked.